Hello, you're watching ScreenStalker. I'm Fakidor Laurie Blake. This is the other one, Luke Owen. And guess what just dropped?
Oh, a very, very spooky little trailer.
A little spooky, horrible one.
A little spooky, horrible
the first
one, mate.
trailer for It Part 2. Chapter 2 of It.
It's Chapter 2. Has just launched.
That's
yes.
good.
Tried to mute my laptop.
Yeah.
What I did
didn't quite work.
What
yeah.
I did actually is unmute it.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, good work, me. So the trailer for It's Chapter 2 just launched. It's meant to launch at 4.
Got pushed back.
Got pushed back an hour by bloody Warner Brothers. Then it said it was going to go at 5. And then it was a couple of minutes later after that. It was like a Wrestle Ramble.
Yeah, they had a nice like chill vibe leading into it.
And then this happened. Then this happened. Right, so take us through the trailer.
Well, so the trailer starts with Bev, played by Jessica Chastain, entering the house that she used to live in when she had. So she leaves Derry.
Yes.
Somewhere after the events of It Chapter 1.
I mean, you probably would do, wouldn't you?
Yeah, was away for many years, and if you've read the books, you know that the book is more, the timelines are merged in the book, so you jump back and forth between the kids and the adults, but the kind of idea is all the adults return.
Yeah.
And they've reformed the Losers Club to combat it again.
Yeah, this is taking more of like the approach of the original Tim Curry movie, where the first half is them as kids, and then the second half is them as adults coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And
good way to structure it.
It works better for a film. She goes back to her childhood home, and she meets the old woman who lives there. She's not there.
No.
Oh, she. She's not.
I mean, old women are creepy anyway.
Yes, old women are creepy, and I thought this is such a good bit of just trailer making to just play out this really long, intense scene that we knew it was never going to be like an innocuous old lady. She is, to all intents and purposes, a creep from the beginning. She's standing in the shadows. You go in there.
Well, that's
there's flies on the wall.
It's the shot that just becomes before this one, where you can see her. Like, so Jessica Chastain's in her bedroom, like what the bedroom should have had as a child, looking at the postcard. And then in the hallway, you see the old lady standing there, and then she does like a big Pennywise.
She walks off like that.
Scuttly walk away, and that's when you're twigging like,
Yeah.
Bev's in trouble here now.
Yeah.
And then you get, and this is quite typical for Warner Brothers trailers, I feel. They did this a lot with Justice League, where you'd release like, there is a trailer, but there's a scene that starts the trailer.
Yes, yeah.
So you watch essentially a whole scene of Jessica Chastain and this old lady. And the old lady's being a bit weird. She talks about like, oh, no one in Derry ever really dies.
Pause.
With
the most horrible death mask grimace as well.
But anyway.
Yeah.
And then she goes away to make some cookies, and Jessica Chastain starts looking at the family photos.
Yeah. Attempting to leave. Did that classic thing of, I'm trying to leave, but these family photos.
You keep chatting.
Yeah.
I've got cookies. So she's trying to look
Jessica
at these...
Chastain.
She's trying to look at these photos. Well, she is looking at these photos, rather. And then she's kind of like talking to the old lady, and the old lady says, yeah, you know, my father was in the circus.
Oh, yeah.
So
and that's when she twigs, apparently.
Yeah, well, it's when she's looking at a photo and she sees some very creepy people in an old-timey photo standing for, like, Pennywise the Clown. And you can see...
She skulls past naked.
Yeah, she's just like then standing there.
She butters.
She's big butter naked. And then she goes towards them and just like absolutely legs towards them. And then we see the rest of the grown-up version of the Losers Club. So we've got James McAvoy. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
If he doesn't say that in this film.
I hope he does.
-5 stars.
Yeah.
If he does say 10 stars, best film I've ever seen.
And then
I don't know what to do.
We've got Bill Hader.
Yep, as Richie.
Yep.
We've also got...
Which is inspired casting.
Oh, isn't it just? And actually, that's the other thing I want to say about this new film. When they did the first movie, I loved the first film.
First movie is fantastic.
Oh, it's exceptional. It's so good. When they said, we're going to be doing Chapter 2, there was all like these sort of like fan, here is my dream casting I want to do in the film. And it genuinely feels like Warner Brothers was like, oh, we're just going to look at what people are saying on Twitter.
And do that, yeah.
And just do that. So when the film finished, everyone was like, Jessica Chastain needs to play grown-up Beverly.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we've got Jessica Chastain as grown-up Beverly. Yep. Yeah, as you said, we've got Bill Hader as grown-up Richie, and we've got James McAvoy as grown-up Bill. Just really, really, really great casting.
Yeah, I mean, she's so good in this scene as well. And there's so many little...
She goes...
Yeah, but there's so many little details in this. Like, you can see that she's got marks on her wrists.
Yes.
And like, obviously, part of Bev's story is that the cycle of abuse continues in her personal life, but with her husband, I believe, in the books. And so part of the reason she escapes back to Derry is because of like escaping, almost trying to move back to the one time that she was actually probably quite happy was when they defeated it in the first place.
Yeah, when they defeated Pennywise.
There is this kind of moving on from when they were kids in the books, especially and in the first film, the kind of things that they were scared by were much more fantastical and morbid, right? Or in the book specifically, it was Universal, the Universal Pictures monsters. Yeah. It was movie monsters. Whereas this is much more and it's already evident here. She's scared of an old woman who, the story that she's telling is her daddy was this and was in the circus, and it's cycles repeating itself. It's going back to your old house and it not being a place to of happiness that you remember, being afraid of references and death and all that kind of stuff. It's just it's so much simpler, horror almost.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. So what happens? Take us through the second half of the trailer.
Well, the second half of the trailer
because you've watched it twice now, right?
I watched the end bit again, just with a few pauses, just to get a bit more of an idea of what was going on.
It's the hard work we put into.
That's the hard work we put in. But a lot of that is it's sort of repeating shots or reflective of the original film, but with the new cast. So we see a lot of the cast coming together. We see this amazing shot where they're all assembled and they look in the window of the shop and they see themselves on their bikes, then walking around through Derry. This is quite a famous meeting scene when they go and have the Chinese meal.
Yep.
Then obviously returning to the tunnels. Then we start to get the really creepy stuff with thousands of balloons, baths of blood.
Pennywise flying with them as well.
We get quite a few shots of Pennywise, and then we just get this moment. Hello. So terrifying.
Yeah, do you remember when they did the casting for the original movie? I say the original movie, the second adaptation they did last year, a couple of years ago rather. And everyone was like, "Gah." Because it was Will Poulter originally who was being cast, and then it was Bill Skarsgård took over instead. Yeah. But there was all these people sitting there going "Oh, well, it's never going to be as good as Tim Curry." Tim Curry is we all float down here. No one's ever going to be able to defeat that.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? We should let him out.
That is a terrifying performance.
Yes, yeah.
Bill Skarsgård is incredible as Pennywise. It's
the original film version, Tim Curry's Pennywise isn't very scary.
No.
It's almost it's the creepiness of him always being there. I think was more the thing, and I think the sparing use of Pennywise in this actually sells it better. Because he is so terrifying when he does pop up,
and it's such a good performance that it's now he's the star of the movie. You've got the Losers Club coming back, but really people are tuning into this trailer to see Pennywise again. Yeah. That's how I think that's how great of a job Skarsgård did the first time round. Absolutely.
Well, that's just that voice of just "Hiya, Georgie. Hiya, Georgie. That's a nice boat you got there, Georgie."
So that film came out shortly before my stag do, before my wedding.
Yeah.
And our friend, our DM, in fact, is called George.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stag do was just us going up to him going, "Hiya, Georgie. Hiya, George. Hiya, Georgie." Okay, right. Should we do some final thoughts on this trailer?
Yes, sure. I think it's great. I think the brilliance of it is it's taking a very early scene to immediately drag you back.
Yeah.
Along with the character as well. Beverly's returning, we're returning, and immediately things are wrong.
Yes.
And that's what's so good about it. And then the rest of the trailer doesn't show a hell of a lot, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Even though, I guess, the material's out there. You can just read the book and you can find out what's probably going to happen. But
we've seen with Pet Sematary. Yeah. A director or a writing team can veer off in a very... Pet Sematary took it in a very different direction.
I really don't think they will with it. I think it will be very true to the source material. But because the source material is so good, I think the first film was very, mostly honest adaptation.
Yeah. That's true.
So I think this will stick close to the book. But I like the fact that you don't need to see too much with it because it is all just these pocket scenes of individual tension. And the same way the second half of the book is structured is it just takes a character and puts them in a situation.
Yeah.
And just has them play off against their own fears.
Yeah.
And it's such a brilliant, and obviously it's a classic horror movie mechanic anyway, but it's so tailored in it to people's specific like neuroses or morbid fascinations or fears. And I think that's what this trailer does really well. It's just like, here's Bev, like the strongest character from the original film. Everyone loves this character. She had the hardest time. Here she is, immediately back in peril. Get involved. Chill out, Paige. But I think that's kind of the key here. And then the rest of the trailer just sets the mood. You get to see all the actors and everyone assembled. And then you see Pennywise at the end. So I'm just gasping to see the next one now.
And this trailer made me want to go back and rewatch it again.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really want to go back and rewatching it.
I really want to rewatch it.
Yeah, because it's such a good movie. And I was so stoked for the second one anyway. But this trailer has just kind of like tipped me over the edge.
Yes,
this trailer really has pushed me over the edge to be like, holy heck, so I want to check it out.
And when's this one out?
It's October, I think it says towards the end of the trailer. Yeah, let's see if...
so they've actually gone for the Halloween.
See if IMDb's got anything. 6th of September in the UK, according to...
Because that was the same as the first film was in cinemas in time, so it would be in the cinema for Halloween.
That's right, yeah.
But...
yeah, it's looking like
way
5th
early,
of September, 6th of September.
Because it doesn't actually want to almost be positioned as a classic horror film, if you know what I mean. It doesn't want that it doesn't want the cheap pop of being like, it's a Halloween horror film, people will go see me anyway. This is proving that like horror can do big numbers.
And I okay, so I'm gonna put my money down now.
Go on.
So I am a frequent visitor to Fright Fest, which is a horror film convention in London. It's held in Leicester Square over the August bank holiday weekend. 2 years ago, they were going to show it as one of their big premieres. They were going to do the UK premiere of it. But unfortunately, stuff with Warner Brothers didn't quite work out, and they had to do it. I think they did it like 2 days after the festival ended. They just did like a special screening for free. It was basically, if you went to Fright Fest, you could go to it free. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a ticket for it. And I'm wearing my Fright Fest t-shirt today. I'm wearing my Fright Fest. This is from the 2017 Fright Fest, which was headlined by Cult of Chucky. I think they're going to get it for this year's Fright Fest. Yeah. I think they're going to have the UK premiere of It Chapter 2 on the opening night of Fright Fest. I think they're going to get there. I think I can definitely tell you that Alan Jones, one of the programmers, is working very bloody hard. Paul McAvoy is working very, very hard to get this sorted. So yeah, I could certainly see it being there. Do we know as well? So I know we're going to be going off, but do we know if the original kids are filmed new scenes for this? Like
from
Finn
the looks of
Wolfhard.
it looks a bit like they have done.
Yeah,
like,
I wasn't sure if it was just like reused footage from the previous film, or if the kids are back to, we're going to get some sort of like flashback.
Yeah, no, we're definitely getting
with
slightly more. I think we're probably going to get slightly more advancement of like, especially that blank zone of like what happened immediately in the aftermath
in the 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the aftermath.
Yeah. I think because like we got the wrap up of the original of Chapter 1 just didn't quite go as far as the book does in terms of like what happens right afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get much more of that sort of stretch out of stuff, and then probably a lot of scenes of people in like a lot of flashback stuff where we see people's lives and how badly they've gone because of childhood trauma.
Bloody Pennywise causing havoc for people trying to have a nice old life.
Gosh
darn
it.
Pennywise. Yeah, I thought it was a great trailer. Really great
I'm
trailer.
really stoked.
Really looking forward to it. Let's see what some people are saying
have a look
in
at the super chats.
In the chat. So we haven't got any of the super chats, but we have got a lot of people comparing this to Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse.
If Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse was all a cross promotion with it too, I wouldn't even be mad.
Alan McGee says, "Holy moly! Now there's a film that I'm actually looking forward to after the trailer." Yeah. I mean, I gotta agree. Absolutely gotta agree.
I think the key is you can give a lot away in a trailer, and you can go the Spider-Man Far From Home whole hog and just go, here's the movie, man. But you can also do a trailer that gives away one whole scene for free. And keeps the rest of the film under wraps, but sets the mood.
That's
as long
exactly
as that
it,
scene is like, and this scene is just.
It's all about
I think
mood.
it's just perfect. It's just it is. This is just a like a taster. It is an amuse-bouche for you to be like get back in the frame of mind. Like remember what this feels like.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Jay Person in the super chats, they said, can we do a watch-along stream of the original It?
I'm up for it.
I mean, I would be up for it. The problem is that when I'm watching a movie, I'm not one for talking while films are on.
Oh, right, yeah.
So watching a film, I think would be remarkably boring.
Yeah, I think Ollie would do the same as well if we asked him to do. Just like, shh.
I'm trying to watch to watch the film. It's very scary. I'm trying not to be scared.
We'll get Pete to watch it. That'll be good.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of gutted that we didn't get Pete in for this because he is a little scaredy cat.
Well, that's why he didn't come, because he said, haven't seen the first one, because he's a scaredy cat.
He's too scared to play.
Poor little Chopper.
He's too scared to play Resident Evil 2.
I know.
Bless his eyes. He's not going to be watching it. Mike Perry suggested that It Chapter 2 Electric Boogaloo would have been a better name. I mean, possibly.
Definitely.
It could be argued. And Tomo said, this is probably the first trailer this year to actually make me want to see the movie it shows.
Ooh.
Big claim.
That is a big claim.
But we did have Endgame.
We had Endgame. That had a lot of trailers that made me want to see it. But I think also the trailer wasn't the only crux to that. And I think for some people this might be the sort of like selling point of like, they saw the first one, bully for you. I don't really want to see adults go up against this thing again in the same way. Yeah. So not really excited. Oh no, I am. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah.
Oh no, I want to see
the hands.
Yeah.
Oh, so horrible.
And I actually really like the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer that was released last week.
I do like it as well, but
it actually made me really excited for the movie.
Yeah, and we had there's a bit in the news today, which you can watch on the channel with Val, where Tom Holland has been bigging up the idea that there's a monster twist in this one too, but that people might not like it.
Oh, really?
So it makes you wonder, because obviously they did all the stuff in the first one. Spoilers, if you haven't seen a 2-year-old film with Vulture and Peter Parker's relationship.
Yeah.
So something on that scale he was suggesting. So like,
wow.
I get the idea that possibly what they're doing is showing you a lot now, and maybe that all gets turned on its head later. Mm-hmm. But who knows? It's Mysterio, so I mean, chances are it's all just made up. It's an illusion.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. Well, I think that's all the comments that we've got. So. Let's end this up, man. Let's get out of the. Let's get out. Let's go home.
Let's go home because I don't want to go home. I don't want to go to bed anymore because that is all we have time for. Talking about the It Chapter 2 first ever trailer. I've been Fakidor Laurie Blake. This has been the other one, Luke. And if you're watching this back, please click the videos that have appeared down here and subscribe to ScreenStalker. And also leave us a comment to let us know your best moment from the trailer. And remember, we're watching.